Alright, here's another episode of Rooster Talk. I've got Paul Werndly here with me. Paul and I have done some coffee with Samso before on healthy living. I thought it might be a good segment to get Paul to sort of let us, give his opinion on how we should stay healthy. So Paul, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Noel. Well, I'm a doctor of natural medicine, so I've studied sort of immunology and natural medicine from a natural point of view and our natural immunity and defences against viruses. Because as you see on mass media, they actually tell us certain things and don't tell us certain things to heighten our fear, even though they're saying don't panic. A lot of it is sort of hype still, and we're not really learning the fundamentals of basic immunity, basic virology, and actual foods to eat, foods not to eat, and medicinal herbs, which is comes right back from the evolution of humans. There's 400,000 years of evolution. Now, that's actually brought us to fighting over toilet rolls in shopping aisles. So evolution has taken us a long way, hasn't it, Noel? Fighting over toilet rolls.
Don't take those toilet rolls away from us, mate. That's it.
No, that's right. But you see how advanced we are as human species, fighting over the toilet rolls. There's a lot of evolution. What have we come to? So basically a virus, there's millions of viruses in nature. There's viruses in our lungs and in our blood right now. We're surrounded by viruses. They're one of the most primitive, well, you can say life forms, but they're actually inanimate as well. They're the doorway between life and inanimate life, possibly the earliest form of life, doorway to life in the universe. So a glass of seawater's got 70 million, 100 million viruses in it, and you can drink it. Okay, there's viruses in your lungs right now. But whether they're pathogenic, as in disease-causing, is how your body responds to that virus. Because the virus has to enter your cells to replicate. Okay, they're so primitive they can't replicate themselves. They're the most primitive thing floating around. They're actually just a strand of protein, but it's a very organised, there's an intelligence behind them, which really questions are they alive, are they not alive? Because they have to trick their way into the cell. So that corona shell you see with the spikes coming out, it's like a landmine.
Yep.
Like a marine mine. That's actually the shell of the virus. Inside is the genomes of the virus themselves that reproduce. So once that little microscopic eggshell with the virus's genomes in it tricks its way into the cell. So it's got to knock on the cell door and trick its way in. Okay, so it's got all these underhanded ways of getting in, and cells have got these defense mechanisms to stop the virus entering the cell. Okay. And also cells can actually release chemicals to warn the other cells that's been tricked. So there's a lot of complexities there that I can make really basic for people to understand, which I'd like to do other shows on. Because there's a cat and mouse syndrome at a microscopic level. For instance, a cell can actually put little red flags on the outside of it saying, I'm infected. So the immune system comes along and will kill that cell. So it's almost like it's sacrificing itself for the greater good. So I can explain those mechanisms, but what it comes down to is we're always breathing in viruses. We've got viruses in our lungs right now, and viruses are tissue specific, meaning the hepatitis virus goes to the liver. The hepatitis virus doesn't go to your central nervous system. The herpes virus goes to your central nervous system. Okay, like shingles is a herpes virus. The rhinoviruses and respiratory influenza viruses go to the respiratory system. Respiratory viruses don't go to the liver. They're very tissue specific. Okay, and then very often you can swim in the ocean, and the seaweed virus and fish viruses, they don't infect you. Actually, they strengthen your immune system through a homeopathic effect. So now, the modern viruses that have mutated can get around our immune system. That's part of the reason they mutate. The viruses are smart enough without a brain to mutate and trick them way around our immune system. And this is why once we get a virus, our body should recognise that virus in the future for the rest of our life. But our immune system can weaken through Western lifestyle, diet. A lot of people in Italy, they're getting sick because there's high prevalence of smoking in Italy. I think the average mortality rate there is 82 years old, something like that. They're not telling you that on mass media though. Because at that age, your defences are weakened, your chemical reactions against the virus are weakened, maybe years of unhealthy diet and smoking caught up on you. Okay, so there's things that we can do at any age to strengthen our survival rate against viruses, and that's any virus, okay, not just this current COVID-19. So, in saying that, I'll just give you some basics on food. Brazil nuts, vitally important, okay? Why Brazil nuts? Because they've got selenium, the highest source of selenium. And this is very, very specific with Brazil nuts. You eat 4 or 5 a day to keep your selenium high, okay? You can take a selenium tablet if you wanted to. The Brazil nuts are from nature, and food as medicine is my main area that I like to focus on. So instead of tablets would be a second tier, taking a supplement. So 4 or 5 Brazil nuts a day will give you adequate selenium, and once your selenium's high, a lot of viruses bounce off you, haven't even got a chance. Now, as soon as you get sick, you stop those Brazil nuts, okay? So as soon as you get a sniffle or a high temperature or a foggy head, you stop the Brazil nuts, because in nuts and seeds, they're high in arginine, which feed virus replication. Viruses need arginine to replicate, okay? So if you've got a high arginine diet and you're low in selenium, you're much more susceptible to the same virus that wouldn't make me sick, might make you very sick and even be life-threatening. It's as simple as that, okay? So peanut butter, really high in arginine. As soon as you get any sniffle, don't go have peanut butter on toast or a satay sauce. It's that simple. But like I said, selenium, highest natural source, Brazil nuts, can help the virus bounce off you in the first place. So that's the ultimate defense, is not getting a virus in the first place. So the coronavirus, and I think there's about 50 types of coronavirus, we're breathing them in all the time. Whether it takes to me or you in the same room, let's say there's 10 of us sitting in the same room, whether I breathe in the same virus as you are, the coronavirus, like I said, there's versions of coronaviruses, I won't get sick from that same virus you're breathing in. You might be in the hospital on a respirator. And the difference is not the virus isn't the variable, it's your defenses. And that coronavirus and rhinoviruses and influenza viruses, that whole school of viruses, attack the upper respiratory system and lower respiratory system, lungs. And the greatest fear with corona-like viruses is actually lung tissue, okay? And what can happen is your natural killer cells can actually start killing off your lung cells in that greater good theme I was talking about earlier. Okay, because once the cell's infected with the coronavirus, it releases chemicals and puts little flags on the outside saying, I'm infected. Along come killer T cells, okay, and it can actually wipe that cell out with chemicals. They release chemicals that kill those cells. Now, if all those cells are infected, the immune system's overreacting, that can become life and death. So these things we aren't taught on by the media. We should be learning about viruses from this level, not doom and gloom, you're going to die, okay? And in the next sentence they say, we don't want any panic, stay calm, stay at home. And then they talk about how many people are dying and use all the emotive words like deadly and pandemic, but don't panic, okay? So simple, Brazil nuts. No one's mentioned that on TV, okay? That's selenium. Now zinc is vital. Zinc's in watermelon seeds, so when you're eating the watermelon, chew the seeds and swallow them as well. Zinc's vital for immunity. That can be the difference between life and death, selenium and zinc. Selenium for not getting it in the first place, zinc for actually your capacity to fight if you do get it. See, there's 2 levels there. Not getting the virus in the first place, or getting it and how sick you get. Okay, so if you get to a point where you're getting really sick, your body's already susceptible, okay? So you got two identical seedlings, and you put them out in the sun, and one you repot and nurture and water more, and the other one you don't do anything with. Now they started identical. The seedling that you don't do anything with, if a virus comes along, you're more likely to get sick and die. The other seedling that you've looked after will flourish and possibly not even get the virus, or a little spot on the leaf, and that's it. Okay, that's the difference between humans. Now, vitamin E. Let me go to vitamin E. Vitamin E is very important, especially for lung tissue. It actually accumulates in lung tissue, vitamin E. It's a fat-soluble antioxidant. It helps stop viruses in its tracks just by absorbing itself into lung tissue, okay? And it helps the immune system, the lung tissue stay healthy. Guess what? Selenium's hard to get in the diet. Vitamin A is hard to get in the diet. Vitamin E is actually harder to get in the diet. So you've got to focus on these foods, which are wheat germ oil, not eating wheat germ oil, okay? Big difference. Too much wheat and bread can weaken your immune system. That's not one thing I can talk about in other shows. So wheat germ oil, avocados. avocados are higher in vitamin E. But you can even look at your vitamin E foods, Google them, and get a list going, and eat more of those foods. Okay, instead of having a wheat cracker, have a zucchini cracker. Noel, I'll send you a picture of zucchini, how you cut the zucchini up into crackers and biscuits. Another important nutrient is vitamin A. Now, in future talking Rooster with you, we'll go into each of these nutrients and I'll come up with recipe ideas for you and how to combine. For instance, you could make a Brazil nut dukkha, okay? So put that on top of your zucchini crackers with avocado, Brazil nut dukkha. So we're starting to combine these foods together. Vitamin A is in orange and yellow coloured, bright yellow and bright orange coloured foods, similar to your hat, Noel. Okay, so we've got mangoes, carrots, beta carotene. The reason I'm saying the yellow and orange foods is because...
Hey, Paul, cheesels is orange. Yes. Is that healthy?
Which one, sorry?
Cheesels.
Cheesels? Cheesels. Cheesels. Cheesels, well, the pigment that is orange would be tetracyclo-dichemical triquinolone. Look that up, it's carcinogenic. Yeah, they are orange. So are orange Smarties and orange jelly babies, but they're food colouring. Like your hat's orange, you're going to eat that, Noel? Beta carotene.
You're talking about the colour of the skin, right? I mean, what's in the skin itself, like an orange, for example. Or you talk actually about the meat itself.
The whole flesh, like the whole mango, the whole carrot. Beta carotene was named after carrots because the orange pigment, and your body turns that into vitamin A through the liver metabolism. So your liver transfers beta carotene into vitamin A, and there's not many nutrients your body does that with. Right? Your body doesn't make nutrients like that at will because it takes energy and metabolism. So to transfer carrots into vitamin A shows you how important vitamin A is. It's underrated for the immune system. It's one of the big guns that people don't even think of. Have we seen that on TV? No, it's just doom and gloom. That's very simple food as medicine, ancient nutrition as well with modern science. So also vitamin A is in the egg yolk and salmon. Look at the colour of them.
The ones that are not fit, the colouring, I'm assuming you mean?
Yeah, that's right, because the artificial colouring is completely off the table with what I'm talking about.
I learned that about the cheesels. I remember you said cheesels food colouring.
Well, if you want to do an experiment, eat a pack of cheesels a day and see how sick you get. That's right, because viruses are opportunistic. Viruses are opportunistic, so they'll take the opportunity that's there. If you don't give them the opportunity, no, they won't take it. They can't. Your body releases, for instance, your body releases a chemical called interferon. When the cell's infected, it releases, there's 4 types of interferons that actually bind to the virus strand or warn other cells on being infected, so other cells become the doorway, becomes tighter, or actually thwarts the viruses in 4 different ways. So if you're deficient in that making interferon, you're deficient in fighting viruses.
Yeah.
Okay, and your body needs certain nutrition and amino acids. And also the viruses need arginine, I mentioned, to replicate. It's vital. So you have a low arginine diet, high lysine diet, which is antiviral, when you're actually in a threatening situation. Now, I have no problems walking into a room with people with coronavirus. No problems at all. Would not have no fear. Fear is something you allow yourself to feel. All right, we allow ourselves to feel fear through the media, telling us not to fear, but then using these emotive words.
I think in context of everything that's happening, I think the use of those emotive words, what you're referring to, I think what you're saying is that it's not helping to the understanding of what we really need to do and what we're dealing with. Once those words are used, people sort of go into that, like, you know, jokingly about the toilet paper and everything else. We lose concept of logic and how to actually manage the situation that we're in.
Yeah. Fear is the opposite to logic. Emotions are opposite to logic. You got the emotional mind and the logic mind. That's a good point you made. Is that the panic buying you see is fear and stress driven. Or fear drives anxiety and stress, which actually lowers the immune system, funny enough. That anxiety, fear and stress lower immunity. So that's a catch-22.
Yeah.
There's one other nutrient before we finish that we're going to go into more detail about how your body fights viruses. There's a fascinating microscopic war happens down there, and we don't even know it's happening. And we're not educated on TV. We should be getting educated, instead of fear, doom and gloom, educate the masses. No, don't supplant fear into the masses. Educate them about viruses and foods and what not to eat. How many people would know that if you're getting a flu, peanut butter's a no-no? Peanuts are a no-no. Okay? Go into the streets and ask 10 people. They'll be like, really? Okay, so the key nutrients to remember is vitamin A, vitamin E, and vitamin C, the antioxidants. And then you've got zinc and selenium are 2 minerals. Okay? So just let's start with those 5, so we don't cloud the issue.
Well, that
Let's
sounds
start
good.
with those 5.
All right, Paul.
Don't forget your herbs, garlic.
And what, sorry?
Garlic, raw garlic, which has got selenium in it as well. I just had to mention that.
All right, Paul, thanks for that. Look, we don't want to make this, well, you know, I sort of mentioned to you before, it would be good if we can do a weekly sort of chat to just educate us about things, how we should actually help better manage our diets while we're all sort of in this lockdown. Appreciate your time.
Yes, Noel?
You know, we're looking forward to, you know, maybe next week, let's do another chat.
Let's chat next week. Absorb that information to start with, and we'll go from there.
Great. Thanks, Paul.
All right, Noel. Bye now. Ciao.
All right.